What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 6-game NBA main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com and presented by Superdraft. I hope each and every one of you out there had a great holiday, but it's time to get back on our grind because the grind never stops here on the Awesemo YouTube channel. So let's get that power of positivity in the air, and right now, please hit that like button. If you want to win a free month of Awesemo Plus courtesy of Superdraft, like this video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries down below. Nobody guessed Trey Lyles correctly in the last video, so let's get back on track after this holiday. Give yourself a little gift from Saint Nick by liking this video and commenting your top value play down below. But even if, like me, you feel like Tim Allen in the movie The Santa Claus with how much weight you gain over the holidays, we've got no time to waste here in the Four Corners. So let's get right into our first corner of the top owned plays, and Andre Drummond in a game versus Washington. There was 118 implied points for Detroit. Drummond has 26% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 31% on FanDuel. Drummond should feast on the boards against Washington's fast pace with no negatives at all to his opportunity, other than his rising price and a sheer wide. Our next top-owned play looks like Luka Doncic in a game versus San Antonio, where there's 116.3 implied points for Dallas. Luka has 8% expected ownership on DraftKings, while he has 39% on FanDuel. Luka is officially expected to play after he returns to practice, and his price on FanDuel is much harder to ignore in a pace-up game against San Antonio's mediocre 110 defensive rating. And another top-owned play looks like Elfrid Payton in a game at Brooklyn, where there's 108.8 implied points for the Knicks. Elf has 25% expected ownership on DraftKings, while he has just 13% on FanDuel. Payton is over 34.25 fantasy points in his last 2 games, and he's seen steady run with a 40% assist rate in the year, and a price that's a strong value on DraftKings in particular. And now for our next corner, let's hit on some of the top value plays, starting with Marvin Bagley in a game versus Minnesota, where there's 112.8 implied points for Sacramento. Bagley projects extremely well if you expect to see him in the mid to high 20s minutes, but there's some risk that he loses run down the stretch like he bizarrely did last game to Trevor Ariza. And another top value today looks like Nerlens Noel in a game versus Memphis, where there's 115.5 implied points for Oklahoma City. Noel could pick up a few extra minutes thanks to Danilo Gallinari's absence, but he mostly just has a nice price thanks to a pace-up spot against defensively weak Memphis. And another top value today looks like Garrett Temple in that game versus the Knicks, where there's 115.8 implied points for Brooklyn. Temple's price is particularly cheap on FanDuel despite over 32 minutes in 10 out of his last 11 games, and he put up 42.5 fantasy points in his last game versus Atlanta. And now for our next corner, here are some of the other top plays on the slate, starting with Julius Randle in that game at Brooklyn, where there's 108.8 implied points for the Knicks. Randle went for 50 fantasy points in his last game against pace-up Washington, and this is not as good of a spot defensively, but his steady run and potentially higher usage if Marcus Morris misses again makes Randle look like one of the strongest mixes of points and value on the slate. And another top play today looks like Bradley Beal in a game at Detroit, where there's 111 implied points for Washington. Beal had a season-high 46% usage rate in his last game with Washington's depleted lineup, and he has a solid floor with a potentially massive ceiling if his shot heats up better than his 44% shooting on the year. And our last top play today looks like Chris Paul in a game versus Memphis, where there's 115.5 implied points for Oklahoma City. DFS players have often slept on the quality matchup against Memphis with a high pace and a poor 110 defensive rating, and Paul's a lead ball handler who can see additional usage today thanks to Danilo Gallinari's absence. And now for our last corner, here are some of the lower-owned dart throws on the slate, starting with Bruce Brown in the game versus Washington, where there's 118 implied points for Detroit. Bruce Brown is currently questionable, but he would return to a massive role if he's in with Luke Kennard sideline and this pace-up spot against Washington with their poor defense. Another lower-owned dart throw that I like is Spencer Dinwiddie in that game versus the Knicks, where there's 115.8 implied points for Brooklyn. Dinwiddie has over 43 fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, as his only down game against Philadelphia's elite defense, and the Knicks will offer poor defense and possibly a very competitive game in this Battle of New York. And lastly, a fixture in the lower-owned dart throws is Jonas Valanciunas in the game in Oklahoma City, where there's 109.5 implied points for Memphis. Jonas has over 38 fantasy points in his last 4 games, and he continues to go unowned with his price now even lower, despite a matchup that will keep him right by the rim for what he does best. So that's what I'm seeing so far for today's 6-game slate. So let's get a little post-Christmas positivity in the air, and right now, please hit that like button. And if you want to win that free month of Awesemo Plus, like the video and comment your top value play according to Draftkings salaries down below. And of course, Superdraft is the presenting sponsor here of the Four Corners, so go check them out right now at superdraft.io. Take that Christmas money and use the promo code AWESEMO over there. You get $20 free with any deposit of $100 or more. So go to superdraft.io right now and give yourself $20 free with that promo code AWESEMO. And you can also reinvest in yourself by going to awesemo.com/join and using this promo code SWITCH and HEDGE for half off your first week of Awesemo Plus. Go check out our packages right now at awesemo.com/join and find packages as low as $3.95 a week on there. So go to awesemo.com/join right now. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I've got NFL and NBA content going on all the time right now in my own personal podcast, which will be back this Saturday. So check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back on Live Before Lock later today, so tune in then. And of course, I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for another Four Corners. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a great holiday and continue to have a great holiday season. And I'll see you guys again soon. So enjoy your nights and good luck.